Call to order the regular city council meeting for Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. Start with the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the agenda's in front of you. I don't have any additions. Does anybody have any additions? The top, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Consent agenda, we have the minutes from the regular city council meeting, April 9th, 2025. Minutes from the joint special city council meeting, Water and Light, April 15th, 2025. Local Board of Appeals and Equalization meeting, April 17th, 2025. Special city council meeting, May 5th, 2025, and special city council meeting, May 2025. For a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Financial reports. City accounts payable, April 2025. City financial statements, April 2025. And liquor store profit and loss statement, April 2025. Is there a motion to approve the financial reports? Questions?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public comment this time is reserved for comments from the public on matters not listed on the agenda. Please keep comments to 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members. My name is Kevin McMaster. I'm the one who's been emailing you in regards to short-term rentals. My wife has been coming up to this area her entire life. She probably doesn't want me to tell you how many years, but together it's been 30 years we've been coming to the area. Since 2019, we've operated our cabin on Sand Lake, which is in the township of Moose Lake, as a short-term rental. 2021, the county invited the short-term rental operators to help develop the formal ordinance. I attended this session, and I'm glad I did. It was very productive and a collaborative process. At the time, the county proposed limiting occupancy to 2 guests per bedroom. While our cabin has 4 bedrooms, it comfortably sleeps 12, including guests who use 2 pull-out couches. When I asked why the limit was being imposed, I was told it was based on the septic system capacity. I explained to them that I was on city water. As a result, the county recognized the uniqueness of our situation and amended the ordinance accordingly. At the time, I had no idea I would later purchase the property within the city of Moose Lake. Yet here I am again, presented with another unique case. I believe you're looking at the Carleton County ordinance for short-term rental. And under that current ordinance, it says accessory structures such as a garage are prohibited from being used for additional guest occupancy. However, our structure and situation is unique. We have a 4,000 square foot garage that includes 2 bathrooms and a finished second level with dormers for sleeping accommodations. It is not a temporary space. It was built to a standard. Most importantly, both this garage and the primary home have been inspected and approved by the state health inspector for short-term rental occupancy. They meet all state requirements. With that in mind, I'm respectfully requesting that the city either adopt an ordinance to allow for this structure to be approved, or grant a variance in this specific case, just as Carleton County adjusted their ordinance to reflect practical realities and unique properties. I ask that the city of Moose Lake consider doing the same. Thank you for your time, consideration, and service to the community.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Hearing none, we'll go to department reports. Carleton County Sheriff's Office.
Good afternoon. Here to present the law enforcement report for April 2025. I had a total of 131 calls for service that were handled by the contract deputies in the city of Moose Lake, and additional 110 calls for service handled by county deputies. We're not contract deputies working. The self-initiated activity for the contract deputies included 16 extra patrols, 49 traffic stops, 30 business checks, 7 public assist on-views, and 1 paper service, in addition to 27 calls for service and 1 medical assist. County deputies covered an additional 43 calls for service in April, 34 traffic stops, 6 paper services, extra patrols, business checks, and so forth.
Any questions or comments?
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the city superintendent.
Thank you, Mayor, council members, Commissioner Girls. We'll start in the water department. Water department distributed 5.6 million gallons drinking water in the month of April. New water service was put in on the 800 block of 5th Street on Sioux Hill. During that installation, we discovered 2 galvanized water services that were city-owned, providing water to other customers. Those were upgraded at the same time, so we're going to remove those from our. Yep, I had it right there. Just had it. Yeah, the lead. Sorry, thank you, Doug. Yeah, our
Lead service.
lead
replacement.
service survey is what it was. Thank you very much. So that was good. No one had any idea those were running in that location. So from them, we got them taken care of. Investigating 2 potential water breaks we have right now in downtown here. There'll be more to come on that here in the next week or so. Sewer department collection system collected 12.2 million gallons of wastewater in the month of April. This station service checks, those updates I will have for you next month. So we will be going over a few things there for repairs and other things we need throughout that department. A treatment facility, we are finishing up our finalized testing right now for June discharge. It'll be happening, should be next week sometime, so that'll be taken care of. I'm still looking at other options for additional capacity at our wastewater facility, which we know is a huge topic throughout all of town. Street department pothole filling is just about completed. Hot mix plants opened up yesterday, so we will start to be doing some hot mix installation. From the equipment standpoint, everything is good to go there. Cemetery, spring cleanup was underway, burials have slowed down. Campground, that is open and underway. Spring cleanup is done, mowing is routine every week. From the parks side of things, same thing, spring cleanup is still happening a little bit here and there, and then mowing there as well. The arena, the compressors are shut down, ice is out. That turned out to be a really good opportunity for the Hockey Association to try to capitalize on a few things, so that was good. Stormwater, I know we touched on the stormwater cleaning program. There's going to be more to come on that probably next month. We kind of gotten into a bind here this month, and we're busy. Gardening, Renee does not have a up-to-date update for you guys for that tree grant, but she is working on it. She's finalizing up some last-minute paperwork, and then I think there's a few more things later on in the meeting, but I think that's it for right now. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
The municipal liquor store report.
Members of the council, Mayor Rachelsky, Administrator Owens. Liquor store is doing great. As of 2025, through the first 4 months, we're up $86,369. You'll see in the profit loss statement that's in there. That's 13,898 above last year, same time frame. So all things are in the right, pointing in the right direction. And last year was a banner year for us. So we do have a lot of our entertainment booked for the 4th of July weekend. I'll just throw that out there. Thursday, July 3rd, we have Crosswinds from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, July 4th, we have the Rowdy Gents, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And we also have Ted Eastman that night at 5 p.m. Then Saturday, July 5th, we got the Beanbag Tourney, that's back again, tournament. Sign-ups at 10 a.m. and it starts at 10:30 a.m. Then we have live music that night. Milk Bone, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then Grady Cruise is back 8 p.m. to midnight that night. Questions from the first one?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Technology department, library.
Technology part I'll touch on. I wasn't unable to make the library meeting, so I don't have no updates for that. The First National Bank Moose Lake Arena digital sign will be here on Monday, so that's a big deal. We'll have like a ribbon cutting for it. I'll shoot everyone an email probably later in the week. We just want to make sure there's no hiccups at all. So the installation will be happening this coming Monday. And then I'm getting workstation quotes for the DMV, just a lot of little miscellaneous IT stuff happening. And then one other news or update as far as financials go, the city auditors will be here next week. So as city admin will be very busy again Monday through Wednesday for sure next week.
Any questions? Thank you.
All right.
City engineer report.
Yes, there's a couple items further along in the agenda that we'll discuss, but I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things. Primarily, the Trunk Highway 73 Phase 2 Trail Project is underway. The bid advertisements have gone out. The bid opening will occur on June 5th. County Board will award a bid contingent on the city's award on June 10th, and then the City Council will review on June 11th. Construction start date is tentatively scheduled for July 8th, and then final completion of the project is currently scheduled for October 24th. So we'll see movement on that. It's been a long time coming, but we're excited to have progress on the trail. In addition, we're working through starting the planning and drafting, construction, all of that for the DOC trunk sewer lining project. We're hoping to combine that with a citywide project. We should know at the end of May here in the coming weeks whether or not that's feasible. Otherwise, planning is underway regarding the MPCA grant the city was awarded for $658,000. In addition, we're working on plans and kind of action items, activities related to the MPCA Small Community Planning Grant for stormwater. We're looking to combine that with some opportunities with the Kettle River,
St. Croix Watershed.
St. Croix watershed opportunities as well. So we will have more information for council on those, but we're trying to pull together a couple different funding sources in order to maximize the impact of those of that particular planning grant that we've been awarded. So more to come on that. If you have any questions when you're reviewing the engineering minutes, please feel free to reach out. Regarding the residential property, construction staking has occurred. We did have a meeting with the developer within the last 24 hours. I've been told that within the next 7 to 10 days, we're going to see activity up there on the first townhome to be constructed. The plans are to engage on the actual pad, the building pad for the townhomes first, and then we're going to work into the utility extension, the water main and utility extension and infrastructure activities subsequently following. So there will be movement behind Quick Trip coming shortly, and we'll talk a little bit more about the residential development later on in the meeting. I guess anything else we're gonna talk about later on? Any questions from council on engineering meeting minutes or activities?
Thank you. Moose Lake Area Chamber of Commerce monthly update.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Moose Lake Area Chamber of Commerce monthly update, we are still ahead for profits with the memberships coming in. This year, we are hoping to continue to grow that and still waiting on some coming in. We are looking to fill 2 positions on the board as well. We did have 2 people leave, so we're looking to fill those. We are currently looking at reworking our mission statement. We did have some open conversation about switching some things around, maybe some wording to better fit our mission. We also have a new website that rolled out through Chamber Hive. I know Michelle Anderson, the executive director, she is making some updates to that as well. We have an open house coming up for the new business, the title team, on Wednesday, May 21st at 2 p.m. There will be a ribbon cutting. That's open for everyone. Our visitor guides are also out and available. They're located to pick up at the chamber office, if anybody needs any of those. We have, for event updates, we have our annual raffle October 8th, following our board meeting at the Squirrel Cage. We have the Kitty Parade Thursday, July 3rd at 10 a.m. in the Moose Lake City Park. We invite any local businesses to participate with games and giveaways. 4th of July, the theme this year is Stars, Stripes, and Summer Nights. The parade will be on Friday, July 4th at 10 a.m. Agate Days, we have decided with the Gem and Mineral Club that the chamber will be taking over the Agate Stampede, and we will be having Smitty's and Barnum do the gravel. Brewfest, we have about 7 confirmed breweries joining us for that so far. We have Brewfest will be on Saturday, July 19th, 5 p.m. at Moose Lake Muni. 9 and 10 Golf, Friday, July 25th at 1 p.m. at the Moose Lake Golf Course. The theme this year will be dressed like your favorite holiday. Should be interesting. Moose Lake Triathlon, Saturday, August 9th at 9 a.m. in the Moose Lake City Park. We are looking for many volunteers for that, specifically a few people with boats or people who are comfortable being in the water, specifically in a kayak. So we're looking for volunteers still yet for that. And then we have bingo Saturday, August 23rd at the Barnum Muni. We have been doing 5 at 5. The next one that was scheduled for June 10th is canceled. I know Michelle is looking at reworking some of that and getting more information out for that. Our coffee and conversation, which is our women's breakfast networking, has been going really well. We just held one this month, and we plan to hold one another coming up. We're going to keep them the first Fridays of the month at 7:30 a.m. We're thinking of just keeping them at the Lazy Moose. There will not be one in July, and they will resume after that. We have an update from Kiwanis Club with their fly-in, drive-in breakfast, June 21st at 7:30 a.m. And then with the Moose Lake Food Shelf update, they continue to serve just over 300 households for the month. That is all I have for the chamber. Is there any questions?
Thank you so much.
There is nothing under discuss business, new business. American Legion Post 379, lawful gambling contribution fund request.
Mayor, council members, and city administration, I'm Mike Peterson, post adjutant, and this is Stephen Fox, our vice commander. And we're just requesting some funds for our project down at the park. Overall, it's gonna be about $40,000 project, and the flag pole is in, and I want to thank the city, the power plant crew, wonderful job. And I want to especially recognize Pete Jusak, who spearheaded the project there and coordinating everything. He did a wonderful job. It just went up like clockwork. And so the next phase of it is to finish the sidewalk, replace that sidewalk, and then we're going to be doing the slab for the veterans pavers or bricks that will be engraved their names and what branch of service. And so it's open to everyone. You don't have to bring in a DD-214 to prove you're in the military. We're just going to take the families as their word. And also, there's no other restrictions either, just, you know, where they're from. You know, if they're from, I don't know if they're from Texas, I don't know if, yeah, with everyone. And that's it, so, thank you. Yes.
When will you start selling the pavers?
We're hoping, you know, for July, and we're gonna get those out somewhere in there, a brochure and so forth. So that's what we're hoping for here. So we'll see.
Okay. The city administrator.
Yes, so we are engaging, thank you, Mike. Project is underway. Things are going very smoothly. It's already, the pole itself is pretty amazing. We are currently engaging in our audit. As Ryan mentioned, we'll be fully under our audit as of the first couple days next week, looking to have an audited fund balance for our contribution fund in totality, so we can update council on how much money is in there. This request absolutely fits the standards and guidelines of what those monies can be utilized for. I have been asked to kind of compile from a bean counter perspective, the equipment hours and labor hours we have in at this time for facilitating the locate, excavation, backfilling, cutting grade, things like that, activities that we've already engaged in. So I will be able to have more information for council on that. And we'll provide a fund balance and what our contributions, our total contributions are at this time. I have not had the opportunity to gather that information. And so I can, it would require it being tabled just to, for due diligence, but that's where we're at from the city perspective.
Any other questions, comments?
I have one.
Yes.
Mike, what would be your ideal idea for 4th of July, Baby Days Art in the Park with that site if it's not completely finished by then?
It should be finished.
The plan is to have it finished by then?
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
all right. Then I'm fine.
Any other ideas, motions? I know we'll fund some of it, but we don't know how much money we have in that fund right now. I hope like that.
Well, we should wait to see what we have for that money in that fund, I guess. You know, if it's,
So I'm thinking let's say August on a better term.
Honestly, with what's been going on at Hillside Manor, I just haven't had an opportunity to gather the figures, and we wouldn't have an audited total from the end of 2024 to work off of. I could give an estimate, but I don't anticipate council would want to, or, make funding decisions without the fund balance at this time, so.
I'll make a motion, we table this until next meeting.
Is there a
We
second?
can get a
Second that.
Further discussion? I agree, I think that's the best way to go about it. That works in your timeline still.
Is that okay, Mike?
Thank you. Yep, no
Okay.
problems. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Moose Lake HRA, Hillside Manor West structure fire update.
Yes, so I wanted to provide council an opportunity to ask questions, but also have a new update. So within the last 48 hours, we've gotten a significant amount of information pertaining to where we stand from a building perspective. So initial assessments from an electrical contractor were that one panel needed all the breakers replaced, and that the other panel, we were looking at a full replacement. What needed to happen in the interim was dehumidification and drying of the panels themselves in order for a full assessment to be done. So Benson Electric was on site Friday, the day of the structure fire. They did their initial assessment, ordered as many parts as they possibly could source. Over the weekend, we engaged with Paul Davis Restorations, and they came in on site on Friday as well and started the dehumidification, drying out of the critical utility infrastructure in the maintenance room. Benson Electric is back on site Monday morning. They replaced all the breakers in one of the panels, and it was confirmed at that time that the secondary, the house panel, needed to be replaced in totality. They spent the last day and a half sourcing all of the items needed in order to do a full panel replacement. And we'll be on site tomorrow morning for that activity. Our boiler inspection will occur then subsequently following on Friday. We have other contractors that have been on site, whether it be for the alarm system, sprinklers, things of that nature. Either they already have been on site or will be on site Friday and Monday per our schedule. So we're just really working through trying to check every critical piece of equipment and utility infrastructure off the list from an inspection perspective, and then repair based on the water damage that has occurred. We're also engaging with the insurance company and Paul Davis Restorations. They did a moisture mapping process and assessment, which gave a report was issued today that has identified 9 apartments of needing significant repair, in addition to common spaces, hallways, things of that nature, and then our utility room as well. So some of the goals, short-term goals and long-term goals. Short-term goals are we are hoping to be able to have occupancy restored on the dry side of the building. That's been a priority. In order to do that, the electrical work has to be completed, the boiler inspection, all these other inspections have to occur. But also, our city building official has been involved, done walkthroughs with the fire department. There's going to be a need to somehow separate the construction areas where restoration and construction activities are going to be occurring from the living space on the dry side. So we have all of those contractors meeting, talking, coming up with a plan to try and accomplish some type of temporary wall structure or separation so that occupancy, once the critical repairs have been made, occupancy could be restored on the dry side. Those discussions are ongoing, happening. There are updates that are coming in every hour, so to speak. We've had great coordination from a county perspective with the Red Cross, the HRA staff, city staff. United Way has been involved. The fire department has been absolutely fantastic. It's been a collaborative effort. Hope Lutheran Church is currently the shelter site. So all residents transitioned on Sunday from a temporary hotel accommodation to a shelter, and the 48 hours of hotel accommodations allowed for the Red Cross to facilitate a shelter at Hope Lutheran Church that met everybody's basic needs. And so working through that has been challenging, but with the partners at hand, it's gone well. I would encourage anybody who's interested to go and, you know, visit the shelter from a council perspective. If you have any questions, I can most certainly field them. We have been having update meetings on a daily basis at 2 o'clock from a facilitation standpoint with all parties. We've held a resident meeting on site at the shelter, and the residents communicated they'd like to have that done once a week. So we'll continue to facilitate those resident meetings in addition to just other updates, information updates for residents as they become available. Any questions that anybody has at this time? Additional comments, I will continue to keep council updated. We have established a means of donating specifically to residents in need for the structure fire. And what that looked like is working through HUD and the Red Cross. It was established and recommended that an independent organization facilitate the collection of donations and then the distribution so that it can happen in an equitable fashion. And that partner ended up being United Way. So the United Way is going to facilitate accepting donations and then distributing them back out through the Red Cross. So since the Red Cross is facilitating the shelters, they're also facilitating the meals and other activities. And so they are going to work hand in hand between United Way and the Red Cross to make sure that the money is going to the immediate needs. And the Red Cross is the best entity at this point in time to, you know, determine how those funds can be distributed in an equitable way. That press release just came out from United Way. It'll be on the city's Facebook and the city website. And that has information as to how people can contribute if they'd like to.
Any questions, comments?
It looks like Red Cross is where they stepped up, done a great job. Seems like that residents are happy with that too.
Yeah, they have been absolutely fantastic to work with. They have been wonderful. Everything from helping residents access new medication prescriptions to facilitating. The Salvation Army is actually supplying the meals, but it's facilitated through the Red Cross. And all residents have access to the meals, even if they're not staying at the shelter. And to other services. There's mental health services, there's spiritual wellness services, there's a lot of resources available, and so we've been trying to get that information out as best as possible. We do have residents staying with family and friends. We have a few residents staying at hotels per their own discretion, and then we do have residents in the shelter as well. Carlton County Animal Rescue has facilitated temporary emergency fostering placement for animals impacted by the fire. Those residents have all had the opportunity to have access to those services as well, which is fantastic. And then the shelter is allowing pets, not in the dorms, but at the shelter in kennels and in a separate space now. So that's an update that has changed along the way. But everybody is really, doing their best to assist how they can. Coordination has been fantastic. The county has been instrumental as well. And we're just gonna keep moving along every day, making progress as best we can.
Alyssa, you've done a lot of work here too. I've noticed, so
Thank you.
I want to commend you for that.
Thank you. Alex at the HRA is putting in her hours too, and this has been a team effort.
Chris?
How many residents will be able to return once they get the siding from that?
That's a great question. So one thing we're working on is, it's not an even 20-20 split. There's 40 units in the building, but it's relatively even. So approximately 20 units could be restored once the temporary wall construction occurs. Another thing we've been looking at is is there a way to have that separation occur on both sides, and have a column up all 3 floors so that residents on the wet side who are not impacted and still have emergency access to a side door if occupancy could be restored to those units as well. So those are things that are in the works and those conversations are being had. If we could essentially section off those 9 units and allow all the other residents to return, that would be ideal. That's the goal, and we'll just work towards that as best we can.
Thank you all for your hard work.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you for the update. Rebel Heights Residential Development, title and commitment.
Yes, so part of the process of plating requires a title opinion and commitment. Those activities were engaged immediately following the preliminary plat approval by the Planning Commission, the City Council, and the public hearing that occurred. And so Carleton County Title and Abstract did a full research process as part of this activity, and then they sent their research and report to Flaherty and Hood, who has issued this title opinion and commitment. Essentially, it's part of the process to ensure that all due diligence has been done prior to the final plat being approved. So that process went relatively smooth, and the attorney issued a clear opinion in support of the final plat.
Questions? We're on the B, Resolution 250503, the resolution approving the Rebel Heights final plat.
Yes, so council received the resolution in the agenda packet. Essentially, this resolution approves the final plat of Rebel Heights development. What this looks like moving forward is if council approves the final plat for the residential development, the plat will get circulated for signatures. Short Elliott Hendrickson SEH will assist with the circulation of the plat document in order for all signatures to be obtained. Then that goes to the county for recording. What's actually happened here, as part of this process, the county's surveyors actually reviewing the plat right now as well, to try and shorten the approval timeline. So that's been a fantastic collaboration there. So if approved, it'll go to the county for recording after signatures are obtained. And then once it's recorded and approved from a county perspective, then the Moose Lake EDA will then have the authority then to engage in the purchase and sale and transfer of additional lots to the developer.
Questions, motions?
Motion to approve resolution 250503.
Is there a second?
Second?
Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, we have resolution 250504, a resolution certifying the availability of non-state matching revenue resources for the eligible infrastructure project.
Yes, so one thing in the engineering minutes was the Greater Minnesota Housing Infrastructure Grant. And this grant has a max award of $500,000 and $40,000 per lot, or $180 per multifamily unit of more than 4 units. And so what we're looking to accomplish is we are going to essentially apply for the grant. This resolution just is in support of the application process from a city perspective. That grant would then be utilized to help fund infrastructure for the secondary phase of the Rebel Heights development. We are looking at ways to increase viability of the second phase of the development. And this grant just came out. It's one of the ways that if we can help secure additional funding, the viability of the second phase shoots through the roof. So excited about this opportunity. When we look at the requirements for the grant itself, we are hitting every target identified on there. One process that has occurred in the background, and I will share with council at the June meeting, is we have obtained a lot of letters of support for the project. And the goal is to highlight the need for workforce housing in the area. And so we've reached out to a lot of community partners who workforce housing directly impacts them. And there's been a tremendous amount of return support for our application process. So I will share that information with council. Essentially, this resolution allows the city admin and our engineers to facilitate the rest of the application process and submit our application.
Questions, comments, motions?
I'll make a motion, we accept resolution number 25.05.04.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Short Elliott Hendrickson supplemental letter agreement.
Yes, so what council received in their packet is the SLA for the $658,000 MPCA grant project. So this supplemental letter agreement has us engaging with Short Elliott Hendrickson for the design, bidding, construction, administration, and observation of the DOC lining project. We are engaging in this now, knowing that we have to start these activities, and we'll be utilizing this grant regardless of whether or not we have a citywide project that comes from a bonding bill or something of that nature. So this essentially allows them to begin work on that project.
Is there a motion to accept this letter?
Make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Yeah, looks like gravel pit, stormwater pollution prevention plan.
I apologize for the lengthy plan coming out in short order. I'm sure you all had a wonderful time reading this within the last 36 hours. Essentially, I wanted to provide visibility to the process that we've been engaging in regarding the gravel pit. So part of the application process requires that we have a SWIP plan in place. That is what this is. Superintendent Etner and myself have been engaging with the engineers on a regular basis in drafting this plan. This will be a working document. This plan will get updated multiple times as we move through the process with our gravel pit. It is required for permitting. Essentially, there is a $1,240 fee, so to speak, for engagement with the SWIP initially, based on the type of gravel pit we are going to have. And then annual fee after that is only $345. We are looking for approval of the SWIP plan today. And again, this document will kind of be living and breathing and be modified frequently throughout this process. It just identifies different acts and standards and of operation on the site. And it's something that Phil has been heavily engaged in and will continue to be engaged in moving forward. Anything you'd like to add?
There's a portion of this permit that is very similar to like our wastewater permit for reporting of discharge water or runoff water. Essentially, it's just, this is a very small version of our wastewater permit is all it is, and it's for gravel. So I feel totally comfortable with it. Once I dive into it, set up a monitoring schedule with our lab. And then as far as sample requirements, when, where, who, what, once we get that on board, I feel super comfortable. Once again, this is like an eighth of the size of our wastewater permit, so it's just another document.
There are testing requirements within it that Bill is very comfortable with. He does a lot more extensive testing at the ponds. It does talk about site operations, and so we've had a chance, the engineers have been on site and we've looked at location of different activities, have a plan as far as where the gravel pit activities will initiate, and what it would look like as we continue to mine. And then also requirements for a berm and things of that nature have all been identified. So please feel free to ask questions about that plan, and just know it will be modified and change as we go here.
Any questions? Maybe a motion to accept this as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Hiring approval for campground attendants.
Yeah, so we have had a couple rounds of interviews and posting. At this time, we have come to the determination that we're gonna build our roster up with part-time employees to be utilized in the office. In previous years, we've had a lot of staff that have asked for a lot of hours. And so our staffing numbers, our roster was a little lower. We don't have that this year, and so we want the flexibility to be able to schedule part-timers as needed and also be able to accommodate their scheduling needs as well. So we've identified we need to bring on a few more. There was one from the previous council meeting. There was one of our approved hires actually declined. They found another opportunity. And so all in all, we will have three part-time hires for this season. And requesting approval of hiring these additional two.
Questions, comments?
I'll make the motion, we accept the hiring approval of Evan and Richard.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Reports of correspondence, Minnesota Pollution Control Agency project number 2024-00835, waiver decision letter, the Carleton County Drug Prevention Coalition meeting notes from April 14th. A letter to the City Council from Bill Carlson, April 11th, 2025. We report a concern, Rick Toomey, April 9th, 2025. Committee and board meeting minutes, Moose Lake Area Fire Protection District meeting minutes from April 8th. Parks and Recreation Board meeting minutes from April 7th. Parks and Rec Board meeting minutes from May 5th. Any questions on any of those? Announcements, Moose Lake City, regular city council meeting Wednesday, June 11th, 2025, 4 p.m. here in the board chambers. Moose Lake Economic Development Authority, Wednesday, June 18th, 12 p.m. in the city conference room. Moose Lake Water and Light, Tuesday, May 20th, 1 p.m. in the Water and Light office. Moose Lake Housing and Redevelopment Authority Board, Monday, June 9th, 11 a.m., Hillside Manor office. Moose Lake Area Fire Protection District, Tuesday, June 10th, 6:30 p.m. at the Emergency Response Center. And the Moose Lake Parks and Recreation Board, Monday, June 2nd, at 5 p.m. in the City Council chambers. And that's all we have. Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried.